Have you ever looked at tired, pale, stubborn soil and thought, why does it take some people years to build rich garden earth while mine still feels dead? What if the answer is not a fertilizer, not a fancy compost bin, and not another expensive garden product? What if the real answer is something most people throw away without a second thought? Cardboard. Plain, ordinary cardboard. Used the right way, it can help you build dark, humus-rich soil shockingly fast, hold moisture longer, reduce weeds, and make gardening easier on your body at the same time. And the best part is this. You may already have everything you need sitting in your home right now. Before we begin, if you enjoy simple, low-cost, low-effort ways to build healthier soil and grow a calmer, more productive garden, join me for more practical garden wisdom made for real life. Now let's talk about why this overlooked material works so well. When you lay cardboard over the soil, you are doing far more than covering the surface. You are creating a calm, protected feeding zone for soil life. That matters because healthy soil is not built by products alone. It is built by living things, bacteria, fungi, worms, and tiny unseen organisms working together beneath the ground. Cardboard is made mostly from plant fibers like cellulose and lignin. Those fibers break down slowly and steadily, which makes cardboard an excellent food source for beneficial soil organisms. And that is where the process becomes almost magical. As the cardboard softens, fungal threads begin moving through it. Those threads help open channels for air, water, and nutrients. Bacteria move in and begin breaking down the finer fibers. Worms are drawn to the improving conditions. Over time, what started as a flat brown sheet begins turning into something dark, soft, crumbly, and alive. Not with heat, not with drama, not with hard labor, just with time, moisture, and quiet biological work. Unlike a hot compost pile, this process stays gentle. There is no heavy turning, no strong smell, no complicated balancing act. The transformation happens quietly under the surface, and while you may not see much at first, the soil feels the difference. Cardboard helps create tiny air spaces that reduce compaction. It helps the ground hold moisture longer, which means less watering. It supports humus formation, giving soil that rich chocolate cake texture gardeners love. And because humus stores nutrients and releases them slowly, plants benefit in a steady, natural way without depending so heavily on constant fertilizer. For older gardeners, that kind of slow, reliable improvement can be a game changer. Long before modern chemical gardening became the norm, growers used fibrous organic materials to restore worn-out ground. They used straw. They used plant residue. They used paper-like fiber materials. They used whatever nature gave them. They may not have known the words cellulose, lignin, or microbial biology, but they understood results. They saw darker soil, softer ground, fewer weeds, better moisture, stronger roots. They understood that exhausted land does not need to be bullied back to life. It needs organic matter and the quiet workers that know how to transform it. That is why this method still matters today. Modern gardening has convinced many people that every problem needs a product. But living soil does not usually need more force. It needs the right conditions. When you place cardboard over the soil and keep it moist under a protective layer, you are giving the biology of the soil exactly what it needs. A carbon source, steady moisture, darkness, protection, time. You are not fighting the soil. You are helping it remember how to heal. And for many gardeners later in life, that realization feels like a relief because suddenly gardening becomes simpler again. One reason this method is so powerful is that it is easy on the body. You do not have to dig deeply. You do not have to haul heavy compost bins. You do not have to flip piles or manage complicated ratios. You begin by flattening plain brown cardboard. Choose the simple kind without glossy coatings when possible. Remove tape and staples just to keep things neat. Then lay the sheets directly over your garden bed. There is no need to till first. There is no need to disturb the soil. Just overlap the edges slightly, so weeds cannot sneak through the gaps. Think of it as laying a soft quilt across tired ground. Once the cardboard is in place, soak it well. Let it absorb water until it softens and settles against the surface below. That moisture signals the biology in the soil that food has arrived. Then add a covering layer on top. This can be compost, garden soil, mulch, or a mix of all three. That top layer helps keep the cardboard damp, protects it from drying out in the sun, supports microbial life, and keeps the whole system more balanced. From that moment forward, quiet transformation begins. The soil starts warming gently. Microbes begin moving. Worms discover the new food source, and over the following weeks, the cardboard slowly melts into the earth. Not with noise, not with strain, just with patience. If you want even quicker results, layering organic matter above the cardboard is one of the best things you can do. Cardboard is rich in carbon, but soil life also needs nitrogen and softer materials to keep decomposition moving efficiently. When you provide both, the process speeds up beautifully. This is very similar to what old farmers used to do when they layered fields with straw, plant clippings, kitchen scraps, and manure before a new growing season. Cardboard becomes the base layer. Then above it, you can add grass clippings, fallen leaves, coffee grounds, vegetable scraps, or other soft organic material. These break down faster and provide the nitrogen microbes need while they work through the cardboard below. Then on top of that, you add a light layer of compost, soil, or mulch to lock in moisture and protect the surface. It becomes a kind of soil lasagna. Each layer supports the next. Each layer feeds the process. And if you lightly moisten each layer as you go, the system becomes even more effective. Some gardeners are surprised by how quickly this works. In some cases, seedlings can be planted only weeks later. Roots are often able to move straight through softened cardboard and into the improving soil below. Many people expect a method this gentle to take forever, but the improvement often comes sooner than expected. That is because cardboard changes multiple soil conditions at the same time. As it softens and breaks down, it helps form tiny openings in the soil. Those openings allow air to move, which reduces compaction and encourages healthier root growth. Plants do better in soil that can breathe. At the same time, fungal networks begin spreading through the area. Those networks help connect roots to water and nutrients beyond their immediate reach. They work like natural underground pathways, quietly supporting plant health. Moisture retention also improves dramatically. Once softened, cardboard behaves almost like a sponge. It helps the soil stay damp longer, which means you do not have to water as often, especially during warm weather. For many older gardeners, that alone makes life easier. Then there is the weed problem. Cardboard blocks sunlight. So many weed seeds never get the chance to sprout. Existing weeds are often smothered before they can return to the surface. That means less bending, less pulling, and fewer exhausting weekends spent fighting unwanted growth. And perhaps, most important of all, the humus formed this way is stable and deeply nourishing. It improves soil structure, water holding ability, fertility, and resilience all at once. Over time, soil that once felt pale, hard, compacted, or lifeless becomes dark, crumbly, moist, and full of activity. One of the most comforting things about cardboard is that it works in every season. In spring, it is an excellent way to prepare a new planting bed without digging. Lay it down, wet it, cover it, and let spring rain and warming temperatures help the soil life wake up. By the time you are ready to plant tomatoes, herbs, or flowers, the process is already underway. In summer, moisture matters more, but warm weather also helps cardboard break down well. A thicker mulch layer on top helps keep things cooler and reduces drying. The cardboard holds on to water from morning watering, which means less frequent watering later. For many seniors, that means less stress, less bending, and less worry during hot spells. Autumn may be the most natural time of all. Leaves are everywhere. They pair beautifully with cardboard. When you layer fallen leaves over cardboard, you create a natural partnership that gardeners have benefited from for generations. Cooler temperatures also slow weed growth, while microbes continue working well into the colder months. By spring, the soil often feels renewed, and even winter has its place. Activity slows, but it does not completely stop. Snow, rain, and frost help soften the cardboard with almost no effort from you. It becomes a quiet rebuilding season for the soil. You do not need a big yard for this method to help. In fact, cardboard can be especially useful in raised beds, containers, and smaller garden spaces. In raised beds, you can cut the cardboard into smaller pieces and place it at the bottom or between layers of soil and compost. This helps suppress weeds, conserve moisture, and gradually improve the growing conditions year after year. For gardeners who cannot water every day, that can make a real difference. In containers, small pieces of cardboard can be placed lower in the potting mix or lightly layered into the middle. As they soften, they help improve soil structure and reduce compaction, which often leads to deeper roots and healthier plants. Even small balcony gardens, patio planters, narrow strips, and community plots can benefit. Because cardboard is lightweight and easy to cut, shape, and handle, it is a practical option for gardeners who want real results without physical strain. This is one of the first questions many gardeners ask, and it is a fair one. But the good news is that properly used cardboard does not create the kind of structure termites usually want. Termites are drawn to dense, dry, upright, woody material they can tunnel through. They are far more interested in dry timber and structural wood than in flat, softened cardboard laid on moist soil. Once cardboard is soaked and covered, its structure weakens and collapses. That makes it less attractive to termites and much more useful to microbes, fungi, and worms. Covering it with mulch or soil also reduces light and changes oxygen conditions, which supports the decomposition process, but does not create the ideal environment termites prefer. And because the cardboard begins breaking down fairly quickly, it does not sit there in a form termites would find especially useful. So, when used the right way, cardboard supports soil biology, not termite problems. That peace of mind matters, especially for gardeners who want a low-risk, low-effort solution. One of the most beautiful things about this method is that the benefits do not stop at better soil. Over time, many gardeners notice that the whole experience of gardening becomes easier and calmer. Instead of wrestling with weeds, battling hard ground, and chasing nutrient problems, the garden starts becoming more cooperative. Weeds are reduced, soil gets softer. Sandy patches hold moisture better. Clay becomes easier to work. Roots move more freely. Plants handle drought and heat better. Humus-rich soil also buffers plants from sudden swings. Nutrients are released slowly and steadily, helping vegetables and flowers grow with fewer stress points. That means fewer corrections, fewer fertilizer decisions, fewer emergency fixes. And for older adults, it often means more time enjoying the garden and less time struggling against it. The cardboard method lowers the physical workload in a remarkable way. You build from above. You layer, you water. Then you let nature take the lead. It is peaceful, low maintenance, and wonderfully suited to a slower, wiser pace of gardening. As seasons pass, something more personal begins to happen. The garden starts growing with you. Instead of demanding more and more effort, it begins responding to the steady care you are able to give. That can be deeply empowering, especially for gardeners who want to keep growing beautiful things without exhausting themselves. Each year of layering builds a stronger foundation. The soil becomes richer. Roots go deeper. Water stays longer. Plants respond with more vigor. Harvests improve. Flower beds become fuller and more reliable. Even difficult spots that once looked hopeless begin to change. And as the humus base deepens, the garden becomes less dependent on outside products, constant watering, and repeated correction. That kind of consistency is a gift. There is something deeply comforting about seeing a garden thrive. Not because you forced it, but because you worked with nature instead of against it. The soil remembers that care, and year after year it becomes softer, deeper, darker, and more alive. This part is refreshingly simple. You can repeat the method as often or as little as you want. Many gardeners do it once a year, often in fall when cardboard and leaves are easy to gather and the weather is comfortable. Others refresh only the areas that begin drying out too fast, compacting again or showing weed pressure. Some gardeners do small sections season by season depending on what materials are available, and that flexibility is one of the greatest strengths of this method. You do not have to fix the entire garden in one exhausting weekend. You can do one bed now, another later. One patch this month, another next month. That steady pace fits beautifully with the way many older gardeners prefer to work. And with time, the changes become easier to see. More worms, softer soil, better moisture, healthier roots, stronger plants during stressful weather. Each new layer keeps building resilience. If your soil has ever made you feel discouraged, if it seems too hard, too sandy, too tired, too lifeless to support the garden you imagine, this forgotten method offers a hopeful beginning. It does not ask for speed. It does not ask for strength. It does not ask for expensive products or complicated systems. It asks for something simple: a sheet of cardboard, a little water, a covering layer, and the willingness to trust what nature already knows how to do. That may be the most beautiful part of all. This method is not just effective, it is peaceful. It reminds us that gardening does not have to be a battle. It can be a quiet act of healing for the soil and for the person tending it. A simple piece of cardboard becomes a bridge between your hands and the earth, between a tired garden and a living one, between effort and ease. So the next time a package arrives at your home, pause before you throw that cardboard away. Save it, soften it, lay it down, water it well, cover it, then walk away with confidence. Nature will handle the rest. And in time, you may watch your soil become darker, richer, softer, and more alive than you thought possible. If this journey into the hidden life of the soil has changed how you look at the simple materials in your home, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the natural wisdom that has been overlooked for too long. Let's cultivate a better future together. The next treasure of the earth will be revealed soon.